Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this high five video. This is the high five best moments, most memorable moments from the WWE Hall of Fame. Now I know not everybody watches this and I can understand it, there's no wrestling involved, but you are missing out on some fantastic moments, some fantastic tributes and stories. It's funny, it's sad, there's laughter, there's tears, there's so much that goes on. For me, it's just can't miss, and every single year I look forward to it. I'll give you some facts about it. There's, as of 2016, around 147 people that have been inducted. That includes roughly 100 singles wrestlers. And then you've got, I think, 9 celebrities. You've got some legacy inductees there, like 1940s, 1930s, 1920s, and even before that. I love checking them out because a lot of those I've never heard of, if I'm being truthful. So I love learning about, what wrestling was like all the way back then. And then you've got some groups as well. So you've got like Fabulous Freebirds, you've got the Four Horsemen, and in fact, Ric Flair of the Four Horsemen is the only wrestler to be inducted twice. He has 2 Hall of Fame rings, one as part of the Four Horsemen, and the other one because he was inducted as, obviously, a singles wrestler, kind of regarded as one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time. And in 2017, I've just seen that he's actually had a statue made of him. That is how important this man is. Also, there are only 3 wrestlers in the history of the Hall of Fame to be inducted whilst they were still active in the ring. One of those is Sting. One of them is this year, and it's Kurt Angle. The other one, Ric Flair again. He's everywhere. He's all over this Hall of Fame. Anyway, let's get to the list. So, at number 5, let's go right back to the start. My number 5 most memorable moment is Andre the Giant being inducted in 1993. This is memorable because this was the first induction. Andre had passed 2 months before. And sadly, he was the first inductee. He was the only inductee in 1993. And because it hadn't been established at this point, they just gave him a video package. It was a wonderful video package. I remember seeing it, I think it was on Superstars. And also I saw it on a 1993 year in review Coliseum home videotape thing. And they played it as part of that. But he is the first inductee. And as I said, sadly you just can't go back and watch an induction speech or anything. He'd already passed. But you can't take anything away from how important that moment is. At number 4, I wanted to just nail it down to one speech that you should check out. I've kind of done it, but it's close to impossible. I've gone with Mr. T's induction speech from 2014. Now, the ones that just missed out, Bobby the Brain Heenan, fantastic speech from 2004, really funny, really heartfelt as well. For me, there's a moment at the end that I love. He introduces his family, gets them to stand up, and that's my daughter, that's my wife, that's my son-in-law. And then he says, but there's just one thing missing. I wish that Monsoon was here, and he starts getting upset, starts getting emotional. And that's because Bobby the Brain Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon were, they were a double act. They were on commentary together, they hosted shows together. Really, there's no one in this day and age in WWE that was as close as them two. I honestly can't think of anybody, not from a commentary point of view. We're talking about 2 of the most beloved wrestling personalities of all time, easily. And that speech was fantastic. Also, the following year, 2005, the Iron Sheik gave a fantastic speech. It was about 10 minutes of just rambling about the Olympics, about setting up the ring, about almost breaking Hulk Hogan's leg, about So much stuff. I remember him talking about Kurt Angle at one point, yeah, he just went off. The crowd loved it, and actually he wished everyone a good day. They play his music, the music stops, and he still talks. And so then they play his music again, the music stopped, and he's still talking, and like Mean Gene Okerlund's trying to carry on, and someone has to like usher him to his seat. It's just this wonderful mess of a speech, which I definitely recommend you checking out. It's good fun. It's good fun. But I've gone with the 2014 Mr. T speech. This thing is epic. It is 21 minutes long, and pretty much the whole thing is dedicated to his mother. He just goes on about how wonderful she is. It's a great speech. You know, he comes across like a really nice guy. He says a prayer at one point, and he's thanking God throughout. And, you know, he just talks about what his mother's been through and how much his mother means to him. And, you know, it is so absurd, right? I mean, it's great, but it goes on so long and it just becomes so absurd that the crowd start chanting, "This is awesome." It gets "This is awesome" chants. Jerry Lawler straight after comes on and goes, I think I can speak for everybody when I say we all love Mr. T's mom. It's a brilliant moment. It's a lot of fun. At number 3, Sting retires. We don't have to go back that far. This is only last year, and there'd been rumours leading up to it that he was going to make this announcement. You know, Sting not well. He's got like problems with his spine. He had a match against Seth Rollins at the end of 2015, and you know, he'd got seriously injured. He wants one more match. He wants The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I think I'm right in saying we all want him to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania, but it doesn't look like he's going to get cleared, and it doesn't look like that match is going to happen. And as a result, he used the Hall of Fame. And that moment where arguably you are at the pinnacle of your career. It's the greatest honour that a wrestler can receive, and he uses that to announce his retirement. At number 2, tributes. Now there's 2 that come to mind. First of all, the first is from 2014, and it is Paul Bearer. Now Paul Bearer's kids were there because Paul Bearer had passed a few months before, and you know, I think one of the sons does an impression of his dad, and you know, it's nice, it's really nice, and they walk away, and as they walk away, the gong sounds and the lights go off, and out comes The Undertaker, and it's wonderful because you've got, you know, a picture of Paul Bearer and the year he was born and the year that he passes away, up on stage, and The Undertaker just looks up and then gets down on his knee, holds up the urn into the sky, and it's a wonderful, beautiful tribute. And the other one, oh God, this broke my heart. Connor the Crusher. So Connor was a kid that had a terminal illness, and he was at WrestleMania 30. His favourite wrestler was Daniel Bryan, and he was there at WrestleMania 30 when Daniel Bryan wins the World Heavyweight title and the WWE title. He's got both belts up, he's giving the yes chant, he goes straight over to Connor, they celebrate together. It's a fantastic moment. Not long after that, you know, Connor passes away, and I think it was 2015, I think that was the year that, yeah, it was. That was the first Warrior Award, and the first recipient of that was Connor the Crusher. And Daniel Bryan, his favourite wrestler, comes out and shares some stories about Connor, and you know, it was brilliant. It was just absolutely brilliant. You know, Connor's dad, Connor's brother comes out, and I can't praise this enough. You really should go back to 2015 and check that out. But man, have some tissues ready, because it just, it'll destroy you. But there's loads. I think I'm right in saying that about a third of the wrestlers that have been inducted have been inducted after they've passed away. So there's lots of family members that are honouring their dads or their moms or their brothers or sisters or family members, and there's always tributes, and there'll be tributes in 2017 as well. And that brings me to number one, and really this one stands out. This is what comes to mind first of all because of just how crazy the timeline was. So my number one is the Ultimate Warrior being inducted in again 2014. It was a crazy year that year, but the Ultimate Warrior's induction was huge. No one ever thought the Warrior would go into the Hall of Fame. Equally surprising was the Macho Man, but the Macho Man went in after he had passed away. The Warrior went in whilst he was still alive, whilst he could give a speech. WWE and the Ultimate Warrior hated each other. WWE even released a DVD called The Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior, talking all about how nasty he was as a person and how he wouldn't wrestle unless they gave him so much money just before the show, and it was really bad. We never thought we would see the Warrior go in. I understand Triple H played a part in getting the parties together, and he goes in 2014 to everyone's amazement. So he goes in on, I think it's April the 5th. On April the 6th, he is at WrestleMania 30. And they always have a little segment during WrestleMania to honour the Hall of Fame for that year. So he was there on stage. It was brilliant. And then on April 7th, he is on Monday Night Raw. He comes out and he cuts this promo. It's a weird promo. It's like talking about the running that a man does will define him, and the love for the Warriors, and it felt so final, but it didn't make sense at the time. I remember watching it thinking, this is cool, but it's just like a bit weird. And then the next day, he dies. He dies of a heart attack, and that was it. The Warrior was gone. And you watch that promo back from Monday Night Raw now, and even the Hall of Fame from a few days before, it's quite eerie. Some of the things that he's saying, you kind of get the feeling that he knew his time was coming to an end. And the WWE have done a great job of honouring him and looking after his family since he did pass away. Every year they give the Warrior Award, and as we said, Just Connor was the first recipient of that in 2015, and there's another recipient this year. They do that going forward, and it's Dana Warrior, his wife, who presents that award, and that's great for her, that she can keep his legacy going and still be a part of that WWE family. So those are my 5 moments. What are yours? Is there anything that I've missed? I bet there's loads that I've missed, but I'd love to know what your favourite moments are. Drop it in the comments below. If you like the video, then please give it a like. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.